This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, June 12th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. General Motors this morning announced plans to invest $632 million in its Fort Wayne assembly plant. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation said the investment will support the production of next-generation internal combustion engine full-size light-duty trucks. While no new jobs are being created, the company said the move will help retain the nearly 4,000 employees at the Northeast Indiana facility. GM's Fort Wayne assembly, located in the town of Roanoke, about 16 miles southwest of Fort Wayne, produces the Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra full-size pickup trucks. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has ordered Fishers-based medical debt collector Phoenix Financial Services to pay a $1.68 million penalty plus refunds to affected consumers. The Bureau said that in at least thousands of instances, Phoenix sent debt collection letters to consumers who had disputed the validity or accuracy of the debt without sufficiently investigating whether the consumers actually owed the debt. After falling short in April, Indiana's revenue collections outpaced projections in May. The Indiana State Budget Agency said general fund revenues last month totaled $1.5 billion, which was 0.9% above the April 2023 forecast, but 11% lower than the same month last year. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
The Teamsters Union has filed a lawsuit against Indianapolis-based Republic Airways and Cape Air in Massachusetts. IIB's Kate Sharon has more.
The union says the airlines required pilots to sign employment contracts with, quote, numerous oppressive and unlawful terms, including high-penalty non-complete clauses. The penalties range from $100,000 to $250,000 and disallow pilots from flying professionally for up to a year, according to the lawsuit, and is an attempt to change worker conditions unilaterally. The clauses force pilots to work there for at least 2 years, the union said. The Teamsters says that piece of those contracts violate the Federal Railway Labor Act and will be fought in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Indiana. The union group represents the pilots with each airline. Teamsters Local 357 president Josh LeBlanc said companies should raise wages and benefits if they have trouble filling employment gaps instead of, quote, handcuffing them with bogus contracts. In the complaint, the union is asking for injunctions voiding the contracts and rendering the airlines unable to enforce the agreements, among other collective bargaining and job posting demands. Cape Air and Republic Airways did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business, Radio.
The city of Decatur may construct the city's first dog park and revamp a co-ed softball field and a fishing pond in its Kekianga Park if it meets a crowdfunding goal of $50,000. The project has raised $85 from 2 donors as of today. If the city raises the remaining amount by August 5th, the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority will double its goal as part of the Creating Places program. The park is currently in an empty lot with a softball field. The planned upgrades for the field will mediate its placement in a flood zone with retractable fencing meant to alleviate the issue and add lights. If the goal is surpassed, another field may be added. Indiana State University's baseball team was eliminated from the NCAA tournament over the weekend, and the city of Terre Haute lost as well. The games against Texas Christian University were held in Fort Worth, but they could have been held in Terre Haute. ISU said it couldn't handle both the tournament and the annual Indiana Special Olympics, which the school has hosted for more than 50 years. Vigo County Tourism Executive Director David Patterson is among those who thought accommodations could have been made.
It was a poor decision made solely by ISU. I firmly believe had they reached out to my office, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the mayor, the commissioners, the chamber, we could have certainly put together an excellent tournament. I'm extremely disappointed with this decision. You know, in terms of dollars, beyond losing the home field advantage, we probably lost somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000 of economic impact.
Despite the confusion with the tournament, Patterson said he feels this is the time for Terre Haute as it continues to gain momentum with the new convention center and the Terre Haute Casino Resort set to open next year. Media personality Carlos Diaz is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.